Customs. We're back out here on the Monte Carlo today. It's Monte Monday, so we are doing some Monte Monday action. We left off last week with doing that patch above the passenger side window, passenger side door window. We got a little Marglass put on there. So we're going to continue on with roof work. I think the first thing that we're going to work on, this rear quarter glass is broken over here, so we're gonna pull that one first. Now those windows bolt in, but they're also glued in as well. Since this side is broken, we're gonna work on this one first and see how well or easy it comes out. It doesn't look like it's glued in with your typical windshield glue. It looks to me like it's put in with what I call Dum Dum, which is that rope of sticky black mess. That stuff's it's messy and it's strong. Don't get me wrong, it's strong, especially on something that's an original window, or it might not be original on that side because we know that side's been in an accident and there's been some really shoddy work done over there. But that window may have been pulled at one point in time. Might be a different window, who knows. But this car's 44 years old. So I don't expect him to come out easy, is what I'm saying. But that Dum Dum is a little easier to work with. Usually we can get in there with just a small scraper, like a paint scraper, and be able to get in there. Where like the windshield stuff, like you need a cutter to cut through that stuff. So let's pull this driver's side first, since it's already broken, and see how hard it is to get this window out, and then we need to pull the passenger side one out. Now I'm gonna try not to break the passenger side window, but I don't know, we may end up replacing that passenger side quarter window if I can get my hands on one, because the chrome and the seal that goes around the glass is trashed. So till we get that apart, I don't really know. I've never pulled one of these windows out of a Monte Carlo before. Not my first Monte Carlo I've worked on, but I think it's the first time I've pulled the quarter window out. So, we'll see what's all entailed of it as we go, and then once we get those windows out, we're gonna leave the windshield in, we're gonna leave the back window in. Again, I would like to replace them, but as of right now, we're not going to, so we're gonna leave them in. But we need to start getting this roof all stripped down, cleaned up. We gotta clean out the rain gullies, like they're full of seam sealer. We need to get that out, both sides. So it's why we're not jumping back over to finish that patch that we did the other day. Because our patch is right here with our filler, and we need to clean this rain gully out with a wire wheel, hopefully. And I have a feeling we're gonna hopefully not ruin the Marglass that we put on there, but we're definitely gonna be all over it. So I'm not gonna sand that and get it all nice and smooth and ready for filler, and then go in there and destroy it all with a wire wheel. So don't know if we'll get to this part today. Maybe not. I've already stripped this roof once. It was stripped with my mud hog with some 36 on it. It was before we had our burnishing tool. So I stripped this roof. Now, it's been covered you know, almost the entire time with that waterproof car cover that we have. So it's not horrible up there, but there is some hot spots that have started and came back, like especially like above this, like that wasn't there before. So we need to go in and try and clean all that stuff up before we can do body work. And hopefully we can get it clean and keep it clean before we can start body work, so that way, you know, we're not chasing this thing around the whole time, which we probably will. But that's where we're headed, you know. Pull the glass, start cleaning the roof. You know, this side over here is just solid rust. So like this has all been stripped at one point in time. I know it looks like it's kind of been in a fire, but it wasn't. This was not me. I did not do this. But this was stripped down to bare metal, up to a good portion of the roof line here, like 30 years ago. So that's why that looks the way that it does. Now we're getting new quarter panels, and the new quarter panels that we're getting, they seam in here. You can see all the lead in there. They seam in there. But I don't think that that's where we're gonna seam them. I think we're gonna end up seaming them right here in this body line right here, so that we can hide the weld and any body work in that seam sealer. Reason being is because it's just, I mean, you're adding for me, you know, I'm adding probably a few weeks of extra work just to go up to that point up top. You know, maybe even longer than that with me working only Mondays on this thing. But if we keep it down here, you know, I could probably do, you know, a quarter a Monday. So like do one side one Monday and the other side the next Monday, instead of having to go through and, you know, drill out all your spot welds in here and clean all this lead out and drill all your spot welds there. And then there's spot welds all the way around this window. You got to pull the back glass. And then there's spot welds all inside here. So by keeping it down here, we won't, you know, we won't be getting into any of that. So I'm going to see if, I know the quarters that I was looking at Speedway go all the way up. I'm going to see if Speedway has just the lower sections, you know, from they come from like here down, and then we'll just cut this off. But we gotta see. If not, I mean, I'll cut it off there regardless. But I know, like, looking online, like what they consider like a half quarter, which is from that like top body line down, is like half the price of a full quarter. So but we'll get into that later. But that being said, what I was trying to talk about is that we have to pull this window, and we have to get this all cleaned up. And this rust, like, I've already hit this with the 36, and like the 36 on my Mud Hog, as you can see, it didn't touch it. And I sandblasted the little smiley face in there, you know, I don't know, a year or two ago. So I know sandblasting, we can get it clean. I don't think the burnishing tool is going to do it either. I think that's all going to have to be sandblasted. But we got to get the windows out and stuff like that. Other side wasn't stripped, so it's not like that. But yeah. So anyways, let's get to it. Let's see what it entails of pulling this glass out. I've already kind of stuck my head in here and looked. It looks like it's like some 7/16 or some 3/8. Oi! Hit my head. So you can see there's bolts here, and it looks like there's different bolts on this side than there is on the other side. So, but you see like the Dum Dum, the gunky stuff that's in here, and you can see it's soft. Like I can pull it off with my finger. So hopefully it won't be too bad. But I'm gonna get a ratchet. We'll pull these bolts out around. I'll get my little scraper, and we'll start poking at it and see how to get this all out of here. Now this is something that we pulled this back interior out, like it was before I even did the floor. And I pulled the back interior out to pull these windows out, and then sidetracked onto the floor, and that was that. So, you know, here we are, you know, a year later, or a year and a half later, we're finally getting the back windows pulled. So, and I don't know if you guys have seen this over here. So that is not permanent. That is just temporary. I put that up over the weekend. It's getting cold out here, and it's been raining an awful lot, and I have a lot of sandblasting that I need to do on the Jeep that we're working on. And so I built that little like sandblasting booth there so that I can sit in there and sandblast all these parts and not waste everything. So that's kind of, you can see it's kind of crossing over the roof. We do have you know, a little bit of room here to work on the roof still, but that is in our way. There's the missus over there peeking her head through the door, so she's shaking her head no. So we'll be right back to start pulling these quarter glass windows. I just ripped a hole in my pants. I'm running out of pants. I don't know how bad that is. Okay, well, it wasn't horrible, but I don't think the other side will be as nice because we're going to try not to break the window. And I think from looking at this window, it looks like they used rubber cement in here as well. It's not just the Dum Dum. So if this side's been pulled before, that there's rubber cement in there, and I can guarantee the other side's the same. The rest should be able to be cleaned up with the wire wheel. Still looks solid, but we got some decent rust up here in the corners. But we'll find out. You know, if we sandblast it nice and clean, and you know, if we have any little pinholes or whatnot, you're never going to see it. So as long as we get it nice and clean, you know, we can always put a little seam sealer in these corners to fill in any pitting, or maybe, you know, there's probably going to be some pinholes up there. But, you know, poking at it, like, I didn't poke no holes in it, but it's pretty rough looking up there. We'll have to just sandblast it really well, and then, like I said, maybe some seam sealer. You'll never see it. Alright, let's see if we can get this other side out without breaking it. This is super sticky.
It's crazy.
Alright, we got it out in one piece. Now let's try and keep it in one piece. Okay, well, I'm glad that those are out and we were able to get the one out without breaking it. That way, if we need to use it, we still have it. So well, I'm gonna bag up those bolts, and then decide what I'm gonna do next. I think it's almost lunchtime, so we may be doing that next. But I think the next thing we'll do is we'll get the wire wheel set up, and we will clean out that drip rail above the doors. We need to get that seam sealer out of there. We'll re-seam seal it after it's all primed. But I think that's where we're going next. So like I said, I don't have my watch on, don't know what time it is, but I think it's getting close to lunch because I'm hungry.
You mind if I have a bite of your hot dog?
Oh, yeah, man, you can have the whole thing.
But, yeah, we'll be back to wire wheel those drip rails. See you guys in a bit. Okay, I have not gone and ate lunch yet. Cleaned up a little bit and threw a new wire wheel barrel on this guy. Let's, this does what I want it to do and takes all this seam sealer out of here. It's awfully thick. The wire wheel's awfully thick. Doesn't really want to fit in there. It's taking some of it out. Maybe we can heat it up, scrape it out with a screwdriver. Okay, well that worked for getting that out of there. So we're gonna finish cleaning it up with this. Got the majority of it out. Only spots that I'm having problems getting it out is where the roof seam meets the rail seam. The rail is actually part of like the door jamb, and the roof sets down inside there, and then spot welded all the way along, and the seam between the two is where we got everything else out. But I can't get that little seam out. But I mean, when we put the new seam sealer in, pull it nice and tight with our finger in there, it'll fill everything in, and you'll never see that seam. So only reason that I wanted to get it out of there is just to make sure that it was clean underneath it. We do have a little bit of rust in this section right here, which is gonna have to be sandblasted. But for the most part, we've gotten it all out. Wire wheel, we'll hit it with this burnishing tool. I'll grind it if I have to. We'll sandblast it, sand it, whatnot. We'll get it. It would just be nice if we hit something that just was like a magic eraser. Pretty happy with that. So it's not it's not perfect by any means, but I think a little sandblasting now and then some sanding, that looks way better than that. So very cool. So we'll do the same process that we did with this, which was the wire wheel first and then this. We'll try that. I cleaned this up here pretty nice, but still I see a lot of dark. And then this, you can see like it barely touched that. So try the wire wheel first and then go back to this. I think that's the trick. You gotta hit it with the wire wheel first. So, I need to change this guy out though. He's pretty wore out. We'll put a new one on. But yeah, so that's it for that. We were able to get the seam sealer for the most part. I think we got, 98% of it out of there. And it looks like our little cleanup of our rust is working. I think once we get it to the point of this, we'll come back and we'll sandblast it. And then we'll get it all cleaned up. Now there is some stuff, the person who started stripping this car, like I said, probably 30 years ago, he also started stripping the roof. So there's like a quarter of the roof that's up here was all stripped as well, and it looks like this. So we gotta do the same thing on the roof that we're doing here. Wire wheel it, hit it with the burnishing tool, sandblast it, and then we'll come back with some 80 grit on the DA, and we'll get, hopefully we'll get all of it cleaned up real nice. So, we gotta do along here. And so we'll have to use some duct tape. Now this back window it's pretty much garbage. If you look right here, there's some here, there's some here. It's actually all over this back window. It's sandblasted. Not from me, it's from the person who was stripping this all those years ago. They were doing sandblasting on it and hit the back window. So, but yeah, we'll get this mess cleaned up, and yeah, we'll be back. I am gonna go do lunch now. Again, I don't have my watch on, so I don't know. I'll think about it at lunchtime. If we're gonna come back and we're gonna continue to clean up all this side, or if we're gonna jump over to the other side and start cleaning out the rain track here. But I'll think about where we're going, but we're gonna come back and we're gonna keep working on getting this roof cleaned up and ready for body work. I don't think that we're gonna get to that today, but we're gonna work towards that goal of getting it body worked out here soon and getting it primed. I do need to put in an order. We need to get some more lightweight filler here, and we need to get some more primer here. So, but yeah. Until then, I'm gonna go enjoy some lunch, and I will see you guys a little bit later. I'm out. Alright, we're back out here after some lunch. There you guys are. And I thought about it, and I think we're just gonna work on getting this cleaned up. It's all something that needs to be done, so let's just keep working on it. Doesn't matter really which side of the vehicle we work on, it all needs to be done anyway, so let's get to it. Oh, you know what? I'll be back. I was gonna change that barrel on the burnishing tool, so let me put a new barrel on that and I'll be right back. Okay, I put a new barrel on it. These are actually some barrels that I ordered, I don't know, a couple months ago off of Amazon. Reason that I'm trying the Amazon one is because you get 2 of these barrels for the same price as what the Harbor Freight barrel costs. So I figured I'd give them a try. From reading through it, everybody says that they don't fit and you gotta modify this shield to make them fit. Now, it's definitely tight, but I'm able to spin it freely in there. I mean, it sure does look like it's touching, but I can spin it no problem. So let's give it a try. Let's hope it lasts and it just doesn't disintegrate on us. Safety first, but let's give this a go. Well, it definitely doesn't seem like it does what the other stuff does. What the Harbor Freight barrel does. This seems like it did about what the wire wheel was doing, which just turned it a glossy black. So it seems like it works about the same on the paint, but on the rust, eh. Okay, you guys shut off at some point there. I don't know what you guys got to see. So what I've been doing is I've been sandblasting with the spot blaster going around, and then I'm coming back with 80 grit on the grinder. This is just some 80 grit, and then 80 grit on the DA. And it's cleaning up. It's cleaning up nicely. So, you know, I think this here, you know, is ready for primer. We're working on this up here right now, and then we'll do this section. I just taped off the back window so that we don't sandblast it any more than it's already been sandblasted. Like I said before, you know, the person who worked on this before sandblasted the crap out of this back window. The whole back window is spattered with sandblasting. I would like to replace it. I think until it gets replaced, you know, we're gonna rock this window. And I'm thinking, I was talking with Colleen what I think we may do until we can, you know, like if the car gets all painted and it looks all good and whatnot, and We still haven't been able to replace this back window. What I'm going to do is I'm going to make a stencil that goes across the back window that says Half Dozen Customs or something. And we're going to etch it. And maybe we'll put some like filigree around the edges and whatnot and make it look like it's supposed to be like that, so that way you don't notice the sandblasting. So, and one day we'll get the back window replaced, but right now it's just not in the budget. So okay, make sure you're on. Yeah. So, as you can see, 30 years of surface rust. This was all bare metal at one point in time, and like I said, this was probably 30 years ago. We're able to get it back and bring it back to, a nice clean piece of metal. I may take it a little bit farther and actually go back and sandblast this again before we prime it. But I'm super happy with this, and I would have no problem priming over what is here. I just worry about, if you miss one little speck, that could just grow over this whole panel again because it's already there. Rust is cancer. Doesn't matter, how well of a job you do getting rid of it, like, it's still always there. So, I think maybe one more time of sandblasting this area, going back and sanding it up, I think would just be a little added extra insurance, but not going to do that right this minute. We probably have 1/8 of the roof that was like this too, that I've already cleaned once, but I never sandblasted it. So, we need to sandblast this whole upper section of the roof here. We still got to sandblast. This is how far you can see in the paint, like that he used the paint stripper. So that's like how far the roof is. So we gotta go do that. So once we get this all cleaned up, like, I'll come back and I'll sandblast this one more time and we'll sand it down and clean it up again. But, as you can see, a couple hours worth of work. I mean, it's a lot of work to get that. Yeah, we're a couple hours in just on this area right here. It takes a lot of time. That's why I don't want to try and fix this quarter. We're just going to put a new quarter on it because, I would have 10 hours probably just in cleaning all this rust off of this thing and still have, the whole lower sections that are gone. So not worth it, just gonna put new quarters on. But like I explained earlier, I don't want to cut this out and replace this. It's just a lot of work. So not that I can't do it, I just don't want to do it. So but I'm much happier with that. I'm probably gonna put some masking tape over this, or maybe some masking paper and tape it all off, just to keep it out of the elements. And you know, we'll put the car cover back on, and hopefully, you know, we can keep it from doing the hot spot stuff or flash rusting back. You know, I'd really like to just prime it now, but we got so much more work to do on this roof. It would, you know, what I really need to do is I need to invest in like the spray cans of primer. That's where it would come in real handy to just blow a quick coat over this. But I'm not gonna do it with the expensive stuff that I have. So not until we get it all cleaned up. So hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. I think we got some stuff done. We got the windows pulled. We got the drip rail cleaned up on this side, and we got the top portion of the quarter cleaned up. So I think that was a good amount of work. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. I'll see you guys in the next one. We're going to continue on with this roof until it's all body worked out and primed. And for those that are thinking, you know, why are you going to get this all body worked out and primed when you're going to be cutting this quarter off and whatnot? Well, we only got to strip, you know, maybe up this far, and then put the new quarter on, and then we just got to rebody work this area. We won't have to redo all of it. So it'll just be a small section that we actually like grind the primer back and rework everything. But yeah. I'll see you guys in the next one. Remember to like, subscribe, share, leave a comment. And everybody have a good night. I'm out.
Oh.